I can't even believe tomorrow is happening, man. I get to see VOLA tomorrow at the Troubadour in West Hollywood. I am starting to completely lose my mind. Not only am I seeing my favorite band ever out of anyone, but they're being opened by another one of my favorite bands right now, Wheel, and I don't want to disrespect Bent Knee in any way as they are also opening, but I am beyond excited to see Wheel. I've really started to love them over the past year, and really for that matter, VOLA too. I can't even believe, looking back, that I've only known about VOLA for just over a year when it feels like they've been a huge part of my life for my entire life. If you don't know who VOLA is by now, go check out the video I made on them and you'll see why you're missing out if you're not going to this concert. But if anyone is, if you've seen them at all on their tour, if you're going to see them on this tour, let me know because I'm just through the roof right now. Beyond all of that, my parents have gone out of their way to set up a drum lesson for me and Adam Janzai before the show at 5 o'clock tomorrow. I'm gonna be speeding out of school to West Hollywood and sitting in a room with the VOLA drummer for like an hour, and I just can't believe this is even happening. Just beyond a dream come true for me. I think this might end up being the best day of my life. I won't get my hopes up too far, but I just had to put something out there before this. Thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for making this happen. And thank you so much to VOLA and Wheel for making your music and making this experience something I'm looking forward to this much. I will be back after the show with some clips. I'll give you my thoughts and my rundown, but expect nothing but positive things because it's gonna be incredible.
Don't be afraid of this memory. It's amazing to be here for the very first time. How are you feeling? Let's hear a huge applause for Wheel and Bent Knee. Come on! Amazing bands. But now, LA, we want to see you move. We want to hear you sing along to this one called Straight Love. Wow, thank you so much. Thanks to Dennis for the sound.
Thank you, Adam!
I'm in shock right now. It's now officially been 2 days since the VOLA concert, and I'm still recovering over here. I came home the night of the concert feeling absolutely destroyed in the best way possible. And I took the entire day yesterday to recover. I slept in for over half of the day and just sunk into the fact that all of that happened yesterday. I cannot believe any of that was real. To start things off, we went over to the Troubadour around 4:45 because at 5 o'clock is when I was supposed to meet up with Adam Janzai and receive a lesson from him. He came out and I was starstruck, as you can imagine. But we went into the bar and just relaxed there on the bar stools at the counter, and it just felt like a very friendly, comfortable space, and he felt like he wanted to connect with us from the first moment. I think he put sticks to his pad for about 10 seconds of the whole thing, and the rest of it was just soaking in and experiencing all of his intel, all of his advice. A genius level musician. One of the things that stood out to me the most is that he barely reads sheet music, he barely knows any rudiments. He talked about knowing the basic paradiddle, double stroke roll, and from there he kind of developed his own learning style, his own habits, and has learned from ear and from experimenting to get where he is, which is incredibly impressive. He gave me a whole different perspective on writing music as a whole, and his whole process of how he delves into a sound, a style, and tries to sit with it and really think about what purpose every single note, every single phrase in the song has, and what it puts into the meaning of the track as a whole, trying to really add your own character to it, and treat the instrument and the music as more than just music. It was an incredible amount to take in, but it's all safe in here, and I'm going to try to apply it to everything I can. But it was a magical experience in there with Adam, and it just made me appreciate them so much more than I already did, which I didn't think was possible. We then came back a little bit before doors to see Wheel opening for them at 7:30. And Wheel absolutely blew my mind. We were one of the first 30 or so people in the line, so we got in there relatively fast. And we were right up against the stage on the right side, past the speaker, and just as close as you can get to James and the rest of the band. And as criminal as a 40-minute set is, they absolutely killed it. Their energy, their stage presence was electric, hopping up on top of the speakers and dancing around. And I got my wish. They played my favorite Wheel song, Impervious, off of their latest EP, which is definitely something you should check out if you haven't done it already. But a mind-blowing opening act that set the bar off the screen for me for VOLA. As you can tell up here, a little bit of a change in setup. We've got the Resident Human EP in the corner. We bought the vinyl, and I got myself a Rumination shirt as well. And when we went back in to watch VOLA, it was much more crowded in there than we had initially seen, and it was harder to find our way to a good spot. But we eventually broke our way through to the left side of the stage, right in front of the huge amp. Then they came out around 9:30, and everything just started happening. They came out with this synth humming in the background and spotlight set on the microphone. Asger, the singer and guitarist, was the only person to come out at the start, and they opened with the most atmospheric and slow, dreamy song in their whole discography, Vertigo, which I thought was extremely haunting and extremely bold of them. It gave me chills right away with his vocals and just sent me out into space for this whole journey that they prepared for us. And as soon as Vertigo ended, my life started flashing before my eyes because they came in with this groove that felt like a breakdown building up, and it was one of the heaviest things I'd felt in my life. I heard from my dad after the show that with us standing in front of the amp, it was so loud, so powerful and raw that his shirt was flapping up and down from the sound waves, and it was one of the heaviest things I've ever felt in my life. My whole body was shaking, the bass was roaring through the whole arena, and you might not be able to tell in the videos that I took, but the reverb and the bass felt like it had been magnified by 5, 10, 20 times from what Wheel was playing. It was just so much more loud, so much more intense, and absolutely blew me away. As soon as the syncopated synths came in, I knew that it was Alien Shivers and started losing my mind and just lost myself throughout the whole concert. When they brought the heavy, they absolutely exploded. It was incredibly intense and everyone seemed to be getting into it. One of the things that made the show so special for me was the fact that even in such a small place, the crowd was so much more into the band than I thought they would be, and there were so many more people there than I thought there would be. It felt like everyone down there in the audience by the stage knew the lyrics to every single song, and mosh pits were swirling their way left and right throughout pretty much every other song on the set list. There was so much energy in there, so much love for the band, and one of the things you could really feel is that the band love being in the band. Every member of the band just loves what they're doing, loves being together. They have such a strong connection. Looking at the way they look at each other and move across that stage, it felt like they were feeding on our energy and feeding on each other's energy, and it just made one of the most magical sounding things I've ever heard. The encore took just about 30 seconds of us screaming their name for them to come back down. You could tell they were excited to play more. And as I had called before the show, ending with Inside Your Fur was one of the highlights of my life. Adam Janzai was just going off on the drums the entire time, and I was losing my mind the entire time. Through that entire concert, I was singing every word, I was moving, I was jumping around. I could not stop myself, and that was easily one of the highlights of my life. Throughout the concert, I was making eye contact with Adam Janzai, pointing at him. He would smile back. He would recognize my energy and how much this band means to me. And after our long standing ovation, after the final song of the night, as soon as he got up off the stage, off of his drums, he walked straight over to me and handed me this. His stick that was absolutely demolished through that night of incredible playing, especially during the outro of the concert, and that just absolutely warmed my heart to see him recognize the passion that I share and feel with them through their music, and that capped off one of the most perfect nights I could ever imagine. People in the crowd started cheering for me and coming up, congratulating me on such a token, and it was one of the most heartwarming things I could even dream of. I left the show in complete shock, and even my dad, who has been to hundreds of concerts, said that was easily the best concert he's been to in his life. Don't miss VOLA if they come around. These guys will change your life forever. They changed my life forever, and cannot thank the band enough for that kind of night. Just absolutely mind-blowing. This stick is the symbol of such an incredible moment, and there really isn't much else to say except that VOLA were already my favorite band, and now it just feels like that is confirmed forever. VOLA are going to take over the world here with their next album, and you don't want to miss them. If you were there, let me know if you enjoyed it, and with that, I will see you next time.